We, Team Ahiru, have taken over the voice acting studio.
What about the casting?
My ultra voice changer can produce the voices of both old ladies and old men.
Then, how about having Luru or Pamela as the child for Zundamon?
Yes, I's okay.
Then I'll take care of the rest. Metan will be the narrator.
Let's do that. Let's start episode 9. Episode 9, The Escape. On the other side of Kudalpani, in the town of Chamber, there is a natural cave bay that completely encompasses a large bay. At the rescue police station in one of these bays, subordinate greets the chief of the police station.
Thank you for your cooperation in the investigation of our country.
The chief speaks.
You are welcome. This island is open to all countries.
Subordinate shook his hand and showed him yesterday's Camise video.
This is him.
Yeah, I know who he is. He was the talk of the island.
He was the only survivor of the Camise unit of army. After he left the army, he formed a band of thieves with his old orphanage friends. They stole the king's treasure.
I didn't know Jay was such a big deal.
That is when Kanter and the others first learned that he calls himself Jay. He explains that none of the men at the port call each other by their real names. Subordinate speaks.
He escaped twice during our search. The first time, complex urban underground passages. The second time, we were chasing it at sea, and it was caught in an undersea volcanic eruption. But we didn't think it was still alive.
In the army they said he was immortal. Anyway, he's a bad luck guy. But now he has let his guard down. This time I will approach him quietly and cuff him myself.
There are no surveillance cameras on this island. I was told there is a plan in case he escapes to the cave.
The chief hands a small machine to Kanter.
This is Scopes. It's a toy for the kids on the island. It can also track. It's so useful that the police have bought a few of them.
The police staff takes Kanter and the others outside to explain Scopes. Kanter speaks to subordinate.
Children's toys. There's no tension at all.
For a long time there have been no robberies or murders on the island. It can't be helped.
A few hours later, a large transport ship has arrived at the port of Kudalpani and is anchored along the quay. From the ship, air elevators pull up containers one after another and carry them. They are carried to a storage hole on the surface of the rock wall. In the control room, men wearing goggles operate it remotely. In the hallway in front of the control room, the transport captain and Emi are talking. Emi is preparing a plan to make it look like Jay escaped by the ship. At that moment, Uncle G's face appears on Sonya's communication terminal in the room.
Emi was right. They are here. They've got the island's rescue police on their side and they're headed your way.
Look. There's another suspicious boat offshore.
That ship is stopped and monitored.
Hey! There are air patrols on the cliffs and on the road.
It's too early. I can't believe they came so soon.
That country is very dangerous. They're going to stay on the island for months or years and search it out thoroughly, right?
Is it true?
Yes, but what should I do?
Emi sighs. Then she asks the automated analysis AI assistant in the control room.
Regarding the example operation, the enemy has already landed. Tell me where to hide it in this situation.
The optimal hiding place remains the same. Point A. However, the chance of discovery is now 98%.
That means he can almost be found.
Do we have to let him out? Can you manage that?
Maybe his tanker will work.
Is it your friend?
Uncle G continues to talk, showing data on tankers and its crew.
The captain is an old friend. The crew are friends, too. They're going to make a passage off the east coast today. If he gets on it, he can escape across the border.
An air patrol stops at the entrance of the square and Cantor comes out.
The enemy is here. Let's get Jay there.
If he leaves, we will never see him again.
The automated analysis assistant explains what Emmy said. The only way to give the enemy less than a 10% chance of capturing Jay is to cut off all contact with the island's human population.
You're exaggerating. Anyway, get Jay over here without being spotted by the enemy.
The image on the device disappeared. Sonya gently told the confused Emmy.
It's best to let him go for now. Show Jay a way.
Despite not being convinced, Emmy ran off to find Jay. Sonya gathers the men of the port.
You must cooperate with us.
The men look happy.
Obstruct their way? We'll take care of it.
Gain time to get away. Gently.
This is Emmy's workroom. Various pieces of equipment are laid out. Emmy has been working on Jay's fake ID since last night, and she intends to replace it with a fake passport. Emmy takes Jay's picture.
Now you'll be impersonated as someone else. I've even put your information on the chip in this one, and it's in the main database.
The passports are ready. Emmy hurriedly took Jay to the dining room. Emmy opens the floor door at the back of the kitchen. There, water from the mountains is flowing here. Emmy descended into the underfloor canal herself and told Jay.
Go up the second pit, there's beam gondola, get on it.
Jay followed Emmy down the canal. From the harbor entrance, Cantor slowly walks toward the diner. As if to block his path, a group of men from the port crosses the street. They are all happily carrying burlap sacks. The men speak.
Get out of the way.
Luggage first here.
The number of men surrounding Cantor gradually increases. Some of them are carrying pots and kettles. Cantor is pinned down as the men on the outside push him for fun. Cantor yells.
Get away from me.
Okay, get away from him.
Then, the men threw everything in their hands at once. A large amount of white powder flew, and pots and kettles fell, making a violent noise. Seeing Cantor covered in powder, the men run around laughing hysterically. Sonya, watching her, sighs.
I told them, do gently.
After decides to leave the island, LaRue packed his bag with the things he needed. However, he does not know how to leave the island. He thinks in his room. Then, LaRue hears a noise coming from the harbor. When he goes outside and sees the commotion in the harbor, he rushes to the harbor with his bags on his back. That's the end of episode 9. Jay has decided to escape from the island, but LaRue, who has decided to leave the island, doesn't know about it yet.
If he finds out, he'll have no choice but to go with him.
But Sonya probably won't want him to go.
Hey, more importantly, I didn't have a role.
Now that you mention it, you didn't appear.
But it looks like you'll have a role next time. LaRue has quite a few lines.
That'll be fine.
Next time we'll have 14 characters. That's too many. Is that okay?
That's a bit tough. Then I'll use some voices that don't use AI.
Okay, on to episode 10.